Yeah, and I like that too. So if someone's looking for a real estate agent, you have an entire team behind you that's supporting you because you're only one person. So, you've got the marketing side, like you said, the cold calling side. So it's nice to know that there's a team behind you helping your clients. And I think that that's key. And that kind of sets you apart from a lot of other people. Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome back to another power packed episode of Empower Her Money podcast. I am your host, Angela Duncan, and today we are going to be bringing you some fire tips with Megan, our luxury real estate agent here in South Florida, doing big things, has just recently moved, and I would love to hear her story and introduce you to everybody. Hello, Megan.
Hi, Angela. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, thanks for being here. I would love to hear your story, kind of like where did you start on your journey, how you became into the real estate space, and where you're at today.
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick rundown. So I'm originally from West Virginia. I've been in South Florida for a decade. I grew up in a very small town in West Virginia, very different than what we have in South Florida here. I grew up on a gravel road. The town that I'm from, there's not a stoplight in the entire county. It was such a great way to grow up and such a strong sense of community. And after I graduated college, I just always wanted to be in the real estate space. So as soon as I graduated college, I was in real estate. I was in property management, managing different types of portfolios. And I always wanted to sell luxury real estate. So after doing property management for 7 years, I ended up moving down to South Florida and, just going after my dream, going after my passion. When I moved here, I'd never been to South Florida before. And I was just living on dreams and hopes and prayers. But it's been a tremendous ride. We've had some great successes, failures too, and failures are a great way to learn. And that's a little bit about the beginning of my story.
Awesome. Awesome. So you recently transitioned from being a, solopreneur, owning your own company, and then joined with Douglas Elliman. So talk about, what it was it like having your own company and kind of some of the reasons you decided that you were going to join another brand after having your own.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So it was always a natural progression for me. Whenever I started out doing real estate on my own and I worked my way up, I started with rentals, worked my way up from there. I had been carrying a team for many, many years. And I love, leading teams, and I love the dynamics and always trying to improve others and help get others to where they want to be. And then I had opened up a real estate brokerage, and I was able to see both sides of the business. We did very well. And, at the end of the day, I really wanted to focus on selling real estate. That's what I absolutely love. That's what I'm passionate about. It wasn't, the easiest decision, but Douglas Elliman, everyone knows of Douglas Elliman Real Estate and how strong they are in the luxury real estate market.
Mm-hmm.
And, the team, we ended up merging with Douglas Elliman, and we have a very powerful brand behind us and a lot of support. And it's been a really fun journey.
Yeah, because they're an international brand, and when I think about Douglas Elliman, I do think about luxury. So I think that that's an incredible fit for you, and I love how they're promoting and you're promoting. So talk a little bit. Obviously, you've done other things in real estate. If someone wanted to get into the luxury market and be a real estate agent and successful in the luxury market, what kind of tips would you give them for advice to get started on that journey?
That's a great question. So, I really believe having the right mentors, that's a good portion of it. Having the mentor. So like you really need to understand and know the business in and out. And especially when you're dealing with any clientele, but especially, high net worth individuals, you really, really need to know your stuff in and out. And if you don't know the answer, you better have the right connections to figure out what that answer is and how to solve that problem. So I would say having a good mentor is number one. one. And then also make sure that you're marketing towards your target audience. I see this with agents, and, sometimes they'll be marketing towards a little all over the place. And you want to make sure that you're marketing towards your target audience and the space that you're looking to be in. Also, one tip that I can share that I think is helpful. I mean, of course, I know every agent wants to sell beautiful multi-million-dollar houses. I get it. But, also too, being able to find good deals and be able to help investors and then be able to help people build their net worth, and you build that trust over time and the rapport and the relationships. So you're going to see a lot of my marketing. It's all geared towards luxury high-end real estate, but also some of the things that you don't see is that on the other side of it, we have cold callers, we have other groups of teams underneath, our umbrella that are really hitting the pavement and finding the deals for our investors that ultimately you bring the deals, they either, they build or they continue to buy properties, and then you're building that rapport and building that trust. So then, whenever the large house comes along and they're looking to sell it or they're looking to buy it, you already have that relationship and they trust you with their assets.
Yeah. And I like that too. So if someone's looking for a real estate agent, you have an entire team behind you that's supporting you, because you're only one person. So, you've got the marketing side, like you said, the cold calling side. So it's nice to know that there's a team behind you helping your clients. And I think that that's key. And that kind of sets you apart from a lot of other people who work just individually too. So I've seen a lot of your social media. I do like your posts. I'm like, I want to live there. I want to live there. So talk about like the photos and the thought process that goes behind the marketing that we as the consumers see. What do you do differently that's important for you and your team?
So I like to point out, and I also like to share with my agents, the marketing that you do needs to be top tier. So here's an example, like with the photography. So we're using the photography that you're seeing in the papers, that you're seeing on Palm Beach Island for the $100 million houses. We're using the best of the best. The same with the videography. You're going to see our videographer, he's in the news all the time, he's in the media. And, we're doing that for maximum exposure for our clients, and also to make sure that we're painting the ideal picture and telling a story with the property.
Yeah, I love that. So you're investing in the marketing even before you're getting paid from the client, because that you want to put your best foot forward and help them. And that really sets you apart too, because some agents will just pop it in MLS with some photos and then just hope and pray it sells. But you have this marketing plan behind what you're doing and really truly investing in what you're doing before it even hits the market. So that's pretty awesome too. So any other advice, tips, money wise, that you would give to our audience or the agents that you kind of want to share?
So I have three that I'll touch base on really quickly. So one isn't necessarily financial, but the importance of being prepared and really knowing your market, the ins and the outs, and knowing the neighbors, and knowing why this house has been on the market for X amount of days, why it hasn't sold yet, knowing what the inside of the house looks like and the layout. You want to have the inside details. So making sure that you'd much rather be over prepared at any meeting that you're at. So I think that that's a good tip. Number two, obviously invest in your business. Just like you were mentioning about the photography, the videography, and what we do, yes, it is a much higher expense than your regular average photos. So invest back into your business, especially if you're a newer agent, you have a closing, you want to make sure that you're taking a portion of that closing and putting it back into your business. Number three, I would say that it's never too early to hire a financial advisor. I waited until I was like later in my career, but having that financial advisor really helps you set a very solid foundation, or even if you have a solid foundation, be able to really put those puzzle pieces together, and then also be able to utilize your income to the maximum potential. So whether it's putting even more money into marketing or putting money into the market, whatever the case may be, that person is there to help you every step of the way. And I feel like that's a very integral part of not only should you be running your business as a real estate agent, you need to be running your business, which is your personal business as well. So all of the puzzle pieces need to be fit together.
Yeah. So not just earning an income, but making sure you're building wealth for yourself as well.
Absolutely. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, those were three great fire tips. Thank you so much for sharing. So I have a fun question for you. If you could pick a super talent or superpower, what would it be and why would you choose that?
I mean, there's so many different things because you think like, oh, it's like you could like read someone's mind, but like I wouldn't want to know what everyone's thinking all the time. I think that
No.
would stress me out. But I would say in my opinion, for me, the best possible thing would be to like heal other people. So whether they're
Mhm.
going through something that's physical or emotional or whatever the case may be, if I could heal people, that would be the best superpower in the world, like just to make people feel better.
Yeah, what an incredible impact on the world if that power existed to be able to do that, right?
Yes, yeah, there would be quite the demand for that.
Yes, very true. Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today, Megan. If our audience wants to get in touch with you to talk luxury real estate, be an investor, buyer, seller, how do they reach you?
Absolutely. You can reach me on Instagram, Mermaid Realtor on Instagram. My email, Megan@mermaidrealtor.com, or reach out on Facebook, Megan Romine.
Awesome. Awesome. And Megan, for those listening to the audio portion, how do you spell your last name too?
Romine, Romine.
Perfect. Perfect. Again, thank you so much for being on the interview today. I really appreciate your time, and hopefully our Empower Her Money podcast listeners wrote down those tips. And the biggest takeaway is always implement. Find one or two ideas, get back to your business and implement them. That's the key to success. So thank you again, Megan. And until next time, thank you for listening to Empower Her Money podcast.
Thanks, Angela.
Are you a business owner looking to increase your profit? Imagine transforming every podcast guest appearance to profit. It's your turn to shine as a podcast guest. I have created a course just for you. It's the secret to profiting from podcasting and being a guest. Go to podcastmoneymagnet.com today and check out this incredible course that's going to teach you how to grow your brand and grow your bank account. Feel the shift as you master being a podcast guest. Podcastmoneymagnet.com today.